check that, and my camera is on my screen, so it's wonky. I'm gonna wait for Tom to say something in the chat so I know for sure it's streaming, and then we're gonna switch to Caleb. Okay. Hi, hey, hello. Welcome to my corner. Look at my ridiculous screen right now. Okay, so this week, you know what? I should probably do like a more chill greeting, not just like a crazy person. I hope you had a good week. How was it? I hope it was great. I hope your poops were glorious and work was wonderful. What is wrong with me, Caleb? So many things. Don't answer that. So, today, we have an awesome episode with an awesome human being. My friend Caleb from North Carolina. Okay, perfect. Tom messaged me so we can switch and stop looking at my gross screen. Now we can look at Caleb. And, okay. How do I change it so it's my video? Bear with me, everybody, is it working? Ah, there we go. Okay, disconnecting my webcam and we're switching to being perfect. Tom said you are very handsome, which you are.
Oh, well, thank you.
Okay. I have the sound turned up. And everything is good. Okay, perfect. Okay, so this week we are talking about medication and the process of getting medication, what it's like. And so the stream, we've talked about depression, anxiety, sobriety, and a few weeks ago I talked about depression and went through all kinds of antidepressants. And now we get to celebrate somebody who actually went through that process not that long ago and so graciously agreed to share his story, and I am super grateful. Hi, Caleb.
Hello.
This is my friend Caleb. He is awesome. We met how many months ago? At least 6 or 7 months ago in November. Yeah. And we met in person in February. And then I saw him again in March, and he gives great hugs, great cuddles. And Caleb is an awesome person. So let me make sure Tom... Oh, look at that. Caleb, I knew you'd do great. Okay, so let's just get into it because it is so different interviewing online than in person. When I had Matt next to me, it was just chill, la 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 la. And now I'm okay, don't fuck up, Allison.
I'm the same way, so don't feel too bad.
We got this, dude. It's just us talking. It's nobody's even here. Except there's Tom and Smiley Face +7, who said,
"Oh, hey, Sarah."
All caps. Okay. So first, tell us about yourself.
Well, don't really know what to say. I said that I was going to kind of research and take down notes, and that's the one I didn't take down notes on because I figured I'd, know about myself. But, yeah, so, I don't really know what to say.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess just, work at a community college, going to school, currently working on my bachelor's, here soon, hopefully. Just, I don't really have anything exciting to say about myself.
But you just graduated, right?
Yeah, I got my second associate's degree a few weeks ago, so...
What are you getting your bachelor's in?
Huh?
What are you getting your bachelor's in?
Hopefully business administration. That's what I'm going to go to school for, so hopefully it works out that way.
Yay! And how old are you, and where are you from?
I'm 31, and I live in North Carolina, so western part of the state, near the mountains, so,
I always forget you're 31.
Yeah.
Okay, see? That was great. You told us what you did for work. You got your second associate's degree, you're going back to school, like, you're doing shit.
I'm trying.
And succeeding, and you grow the best facial hair.
Well, yeah. I don't really have control over that, so.
So we've talked a lot about anxiety, and I knew you before medication and everything, but in your own words, like, what was life like with anxiety before medication?
Yeah, stressful would probably be the best, like, one word for it. Just, I guess anxious too, but that kind of goes without saying. But, yeah, I guess just stressful. And, yeah, I mean, it was like almost a daily thing. It wouldn't pop up, for a long period of time, all the time. It may just be like a few minutes here and there, but it's just like constant, just moments where I just worry about stuff. So, and then it just kind of turned into stress and kind of just fed off itself and just caused more anxiety. So, yeah.
It's like this vicious circle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did it impact different parts of your life, like work, dating, friendships?
Work, I guess just having stress at work, like stressful things at work, or I guess stressful people at work. It was one big thing that just kind of caused it. So anytime I was around somebody that would cause a little bit of stress, it just kind of fed off of that. Let's see, dating, I was just really, which I haven't really, for a while, just haven't really been much on dating. So, and mainly just, I guess, stress from that and just kind of worried, my self-confidence was pretty much shot. And the anxiety was really a big factor in that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it just kind of affected that. Just my day-to-day life, it's just stressful. Yeah.
Yeah. What about, like, your friendships? Did it impact your sleep?
It didn't really impact my sleep that much that I know of. I mean, my sleep for the past little bit since I got on the medication has pretty much been the same. But I really noticed that. My friendships, I don't think it really affected that much. Mm-hmm. But I guess with my anxiety, it would, I would have like constant worry that maybe I was getting too annoying with my friends, or, I'd have these moments where I'd feel like maybe it's like they're just kind of faking being my friends. Not all the time, but rare occasion that would happen. It just be in the back of my mind, just kind of that constant worry.
Yeah, like waiting for Ashton Kutcher to pop out, like, you're being punked. Nobody's your friend.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it sounds like you didn't have, like, specific triggers, but everything was just high alert.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's like everything that people would feel, it's like you felt it times 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, which causes you to be on edge all the fucking time.
Yeah.
So, what prompted you to schedule your doctor's appointment, and when was it?
Well, I've been in, I guess I'll kind of take a step back a few months. I've been in therapy since November. I've been seeing a therapist, and that has been helping with my anxiety. Like, if there were any particular triggers, that was kind of helping me cope and figure out ways to keep the anxiety from popping up with certain triggers. But since I've been able to manage that, I've noticed that I've had anxiety pop up out of nowhere with no trigger whatsoever. And so I've had about 2 instances over the past three or 4 months where it's gotten really bad for a day or two. And realizing that was an issue, and I tried all the different things to keep the anxiety from popping up or trying to calm it down, and it wasn't working. I was like, yeah, I might as well give medication a shot. So that's something, you know, you talked to me about a few months ago, and something I was really considering, and I just need that extra step to kind of push me in that direction. So I think it was 2 weeks ago when I called the doctor and set up an appointment. I just called, let them know what I was wanting to see them about, and it was pretty easy and straightforward setting up the appointment. Just called, set it up, and showed up, and kind of everything took care of itself after that.
So what kind of things did you try for your anxiety before the medication?
So there was, I'm trying to remember because I really haven't used any of the exercises or whatever. But I guess just like the usual, just kind of trying to take deep breaths, just I can't really remember some of the other stuff that she had mentioned, because after the anxiety started popping up and out of nowhere, I just kind of quit using it once I realized it wasn't really working.
Yeah.
But it's like trying to manifest, you know, good thoughts, you know, like with the anxiety, whatever's popping up, try to think of good thoughts about what's stressing me out. It'd probably help calm it down, which, like I said, with certain triggers it worked, but when it came out of nowhere, it just did nothing.
Right. When you can't identify what's stressing you out, you can't calm it down. It's like you can't put out a fire if you don't know what's causing it, type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I remember texting you, like, send me a screenshot when you make your doctor's appointment. Accountability. And you actually did. And I was like, yay.
Yeah, it took a day or two for him to send the confirmation,
but you did it. And I bugged you about it so much. So what preconceptions did you have going into the appointment? And did you have negative experiences before that influenced that?
So for the appointment itself, I didn't really have any preconceptions or anything about it. I wasn't really sure what to expect with the appointment itself. With the medication, I was really kind of worried because I wasn't really sure how anti-anxiety medication would work, what it would do. And when I was younger, when I was in elementary school, I got put on Ritalin for a few months or so, because I have Tourette's. And at the time, they were thinking, you know, that would help with that, which it really didn't. But knowing how that made me feel, it just kind of made me zone out, made me feel like a zombie, which, I could be misremembering because it's been years ago, but just I've had a bunch of negative thoughts that go back to taking that. So I guess my big worry was, I wasn't really sure how it altered my personality or anything, or if it would. I just didn't want to lose, I guess, who I was by taking the medication. I guess that's really the biggest kind of biggest thought I had with the medication.
Yeah, that's the most common thing I hear from people. Like I hear from a lot of people, like fear of losing themselves. And I mean, that's a huge problem with kids too, being put on these super strong medications. And of course you're going to zone out. Your body is still growing and changing. And I'm pretty sure Ritalin and Adderall, like, I'm pretty sure they're like strains of meth or something. So that's going to fuck up anybody, you know?
Yeah.
That's a whole nother conversation, like kids and meds. So you were able to conquer your fear and make your doctor's appointment despite having this negative experience. Yay, I'm so proud of you. So I remember we did have that conversation, and I remember you bringing up, like, being nervous about that, and we had a long conversation, and we did research together, and I was so excited, because I was like, I get to be nerdy, this is fun. So how was the appointment, like, itself? How did that go? As much as you're comfortable sharing.
Yeah, well, I guess as much as I remember, too, it was only about a 10-minute appointment once I actually...
Really? 10 minutes? Wow.
Yeah, it went by pretty quick. It felt like it was that long at least, but yeah. So once the doctor came in, she started asking me general questions about um, when the anxiety would pop up, what caused it, or if anything caused it, um, if it was affecting my sleep or any day-to-day activities.
Mm-hmm.
She did ask if if I was drinking too much, how much caffeine I was intaking as well, and anything else that could possibly trigger anxiety. Um, but yeah, just kind of ask me general questions about what my anxiety was like day to day. And then after she figured all that out, just kind of gave me a few options for medication based off, the answers that I gave her.
Yeah.
And she gave me two options, really. One of them was just strictly for anxiety. Then the other was an antidepressant that would help with anxiety. And kind of gave me the pros and cons of each one. So, yeah, it was a pretty straightforward appointment. Like I said, just really quick and painless.
Yeah, it sounds like she was super thorough, asking about sleep and caffeine intake, which is super common, and I think a lot of people might take that as like, wow, she's invalidating your experience, but it's a really important factor because caffeine makes your heart rate fast, and that can trigger anxiety. And sounds like she was super thorough. And do you remember taking like any kind of survey is the wrong word? What's the word I'm looking for? Not scale, not personality test, like a diagnostic test.
Yeah, I didn't take one there. I guess like the question she was asking me was kind of in place of that.
Okay.
I did take one when my first appointment with my therapist.
Okay.
I did do one then, but not for the doctor's one.
Okay. Do you remember which one, by any chance?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Is it the GAD-7? Does that sound familiar?
Kind of sounds familiar.
Okay. Probably.
But I can't tell if it's from that or one of the psychology classes from college. So.
Yeah, seriously. Ugh, they all sound the same. I'm like, can you just name them simple things like the anxiety score, the depression rater? Like, no, we got to do the GAD-7, the PHQ-9. It's like, oh my god. So it sounds like she was super thorough, so props to your doctor. Do you remember the medications that she, like the options? I know buspirone is one, and was it Zoloft? That was the other?
Yeah, those were the two options.
Okay, and
yeah.
So do you remember the pros and cons and like what made you pick one over the other?
Yeah, so I guess the big thing with buspirone was there wasn't really any major side effects other than dizziness, a little bit of lightheadedness, which I did encounter a few days ago when I bumped up to the full dose. So I kind of backed up on that a little bit. But a few of the pros with it, though, was, as I said, low side effects, didn't have any risk of addiction. The cost was pretty cheap for it as well, so that was kind of an extra factor that really helped. With the Zoloft, she said it could work pretty well, since it does help with the anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And she did say, though, that she didn't mention anything as far as cost or anything, but the side effects are a little more severe. They're more numerous and possibly a little more severe. She did mention that maybe it could be something that, if buspirone didn't work, worst case, I could try that out. She wanted to try me on the buspirone first because of the low risk of side effects. So,
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you remember like what dose you were taking? Like how are you titrating that? What does that look like?
Yeah, so I can't remember the milligram of it off the top of my head.
It's generally like 5, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah,
Buspirone.
I think that's it. So what I started with was just taking half a pill a day, once a day, bumping up to half a pill twice a day, and then just slowly building up like that until I get to 2 pills, or 1 pill twice a day. I think I bumped up to the 1 pill twice a day a little too quick, so I backed it back down. But
how quick did you do that?
I was doing about every 4 days, switching or bumping up. But I'm going to stick with the half a pill twice a day a little bit longer, and probably just do half a pill once a day, and then a whole pill in the evening, and then bump up from there. But, I'm just trying to space it out about every 4 days or so.
Yeah.
So I'm still not quite at full dosage yet, but I'll be there pretty soon.
Yeah, and it's okay if you never reach full dose, too. I don't know if that's something she mentioned, but if you don't need the full dose, that's totally okay, too.
Yeah, and she did mention that.
Okay,
she said that, it was, she said, it doesn't sound like I need an as-needed medication, but she said it would be something I need to take every day, but she said I may not need the full dose. So that was definitely something I'm kind of keeping in mind.
Yeah. Yay! And do you mind sharing how much it cost for like a month's supply?
Yeah, so it's only $5.
Affordable.
I guess with my insurance and everything, it was only about $5. She said it's pretty expensive without insurance as well. I'm not really sure what the cost would be, but she said it's very, very affordable.
Yeah, I imagine it wouldn't be more than like $12 without insurance. Nobody told me on that though. I'm just guessing. We talked about buspirone, and it's in. I said I was going to say it confidently yesterday. Anxiolytic.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it targets the chemical messengers in the brain to help quiet abnormal excitability. Makes me think of an SSRI. So that works really well with what you were talking about, like feeling like you feel everything times 10. It's like an abnormal excitability, and your body's just in a high alert all the time. So the job of this medication, the anxiolytic, is to dial it back. So it sounds like it went really well, and you tolerated it well, and then you experienced a dizziness, and I'm glad that you went back down. And has the dizziness like gone away?
Yeah, it was showing up the day after I bumped back down that morning for a little bit, but I guess yesterday morning. But yeah, it's pretty much disappeared now, so it's hasn't really been a factor in the past day or so.
Yay. So how long has it been now? Like 2 weeks? 3 weeks?
Yeah, pretty close to 2 weeks. Week and a half, 2 weeks, somewhere around there.
Yeah. So, what is the biggest difference now, or what differences have you noticed?
So, like, my general worry that I guess I really just became numb to it because it just happened on a day-to-day basis. It was almost instantaneous. Like, the day after I started taking the medication, I realized that I wasn't worrying about as much. I didn't really have as much stress, and like I said, it just, the overall general feeling of worry, it just wasn't there. And it's like I think my third day on the medication, I was actually just trying to think of stuff to make myself worry. That sounds crazy, but it's like I just really want to test it out to see if it's working. And I was thinking of things I knew usually trigger my anxiety, and nothing. Like, nothing was happening.
That's interesting. It's like you're carrying this weight, and then you don't realize you're carrying it until it's gone. And then you're just, oh, this is what it's like to live.
Yeah, pretty much. I have had a few things over the past couple of days that stressed me out, but it hasn't really kicked in my anxiety. I can tell kind of the difference, like, just kind of being stressed, frustrated, and I've got that feeling, but it goes away pretty quick because I don't have that underlying anxiety that's just lingering.
Yeah.
So,
can you talk a little bit about the difference between like that stress you feel and then anxiety? Because I think a lot of people confuse like normal stress with a full-blown anxiety disorder.
So I guess whenever, like for me, whenever I'm stressed, it's just a general frustration, like just a constant, I guess, annoyance at somebody or something. It just kind of gives me a headache. When the anxiety kicks in, then there's just like worry and almost like a panic attack sort of feel. Doesn't really manifest into a full-blown panic attack, but sometimes it will. I've had that, like I said, had that happen a couple of times between last November and before I went to go see the doctor. But it's just a kind of feeling in the pit of your stomach, just really kind of hit you in the gut, and just a general worry with the anxiety. But the stress is just more like a headache, frustration, just annoyance.
Yeah, I like itch in the gut. Itch in the gut. I really like that. It's like an itch you can't scratch.
Yeah.
And it just gets worse. Now I'm all itchy. But it just gets worse and worse. That's a really good description. So, what was I going to say? Okay, so do you feel like your work life has improved, your dating life, I know you said sleep hasn't really changed, but do you feel like there's been a difference in work, friendships, dating?
Yeah, so I'd say a little bit. Work, actually work has gotten better. I have had a couple of coworkers that work in the same building as me that just constantly get on my nerves and just kind of feels like it ramp up my anxiety as well. And it hasn't really bothered me as much. So I've kind of noticed that, but I haven't really interacted with them as much the past few weeks too. So it could just be that. I really don't know. But as far as my friendships, I guess the big thing with that is before being on medication, I just had this constant worry of, if I'm not able to hang out with my friends or not able to see them, that I'll kind of lose touch with them, or, we'll kind of grow distant or whatever, which, never really is the case. It's just my mind being an irrational thought. So with that worry has pretty much disappeared. It's like, yeah, I mean, I'll get to see my friends whenever I'm able to hang out with them. It's not really, my brain was just making it a much bigger deal than it actually is. So it's really been helping with that. Dating, I can't really say anything for that right now. I mean, it's, well, like, I'm talking to somebody right now, so
yeah,
and that's been going well, throughout, even before and after I've been on medication. So I haven't really noticed a change there. It's just I haven't really had anything with that that's stressed me out or worried me. So yeah, I'd say it hasn't really affected that necessarily, but I feel like my self-confidence has really grown. So I'd say in that aspect it's helped. Yeah, it's just overall, I guess in general, like, my self-confidence has boosted. I'm not really, I wouldn't say I'm an angry person when I had anxiety. I don't think really affected that, but I was just kind of, I would try to be in a good mood, or I'd try to fake it, but there's a lot of times where I'd just act like I was in a good mood and I just stressed and worried.
Yeah.
But it definitely feels like I'm not having to fake it now.
Yay!
So it's really helped with that.
That's awesome. It sounds like the confidence thing is probably one of the biggest changes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
feels like it at least.
Yeah, and I feel like that would definitely play a factor in the friendships thing. Like, if you're more confident in yourself, you're more confident in your relationships, therefore you worry about them less. So that is awesome. And it's like, since you're free of this anxiety, you have the mental bandwidth to be more confident.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yay, I'm so happy for you. Like, I mean, well, first of all, we don't have to hang out all the time, and we're not losing touch. So we're good there, just to reassure you. But also, like, I feel like I have noticed even like the smallest change. Because I feel like, not that you were like, oh, super self-conscious before or anything like that, but I definitely feel like you have like a, what's the description? Like, it's like a calmer, quiet, confident, I need a word for this? Like,
Yeah.
vibe. There we go.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, like I've definitely noticed that even just in this short time. So, I mean, that makes me happy. And would you say, so like I know you said you were scared of like losing your personality and stuff like that. So would you say that that has kind of been like debunked?
Definitely. It's been the exact opposite. Like, I mean, I know there was a time when I was younger that I didn't have as much anxiety, like general anxiety from day to day. And I feel like that personality that I had back then is kind of here again. It's, like I said, with same before I was on medication, kind of acting like I was in a good mood, even though I wasn't. It's like with my personality, it's like I try to be myself, or at least fake it every now and then when my anxiety was really hitting me, even though I wasn't feeling that way. But it's just, I can definitely tell that I feel like my old self again. So
That just makes my heart smile so much. Like, hearing that, it's like, this is why this stuff is so important to talk about. It's like, when you try to fake it, when you try to pretend you're in a good mood or pretend to be XYZ, I feel like people pick up on that.
yeah, and I don't know if anyone really picked up on it or not, but I know like internally, trying to fake it just made me just tired, mentally worn out, and stressed. Or just added to the stress, I guess.
Yeah.
So
now, would you say you feel like more rested?
mentally, I'd say that, yeah.
Mentally rested. That is so
Yeah.
awesome. Like, yay, I'm so happy for you. That is so awesome. And I'm so excited to hang out in person again, because last time we hung out in person, it was before medication. So
yeah.
I'm curious to see like how that vibe will change in person and how it'll translate. So I'm excited for you. Oh, hold on. I'm glancing through the questions and I'm like, I rephrased half of these. Do you have any regrets about your experience?
If I had any regret, I really don't have any regrets. I'm kind of glad things worked out the way it did, because it kind of put me in the position I'm at now. But at the same time, I guess if I had any regret, it was having the misconception about the medication and not taking the step of going to the doctor earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing how I feel now, it's like, I could have been feeling this way a long time ago if I just went.
Yeah. I feel like that's such a common thing as well. It's just, wow, I could have been doing this for so much longer. Why? Yeah, but I mean, it totally makes sense with anxiety. It's like dance with the devil you know versus dance with the devil you don't know. It's like you convince yourself it's easier to just hold status quo, even though status quo is pretty fucking shitty.
Yeah, that was my mindset for the longest time. And I guess like I said, having that previous experience with medication just kind of pushed me towards that thought even more.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So, yeah, just Yeah, that would be my one regret, though.
Yeah. And that sounds like a very normal regret. And now that you're here, it's like you have your whole life ahead of you. I feel like I can say that to anybody, whether you're 31, whether you're 54, 76, whatever, you still have your whole life ahead of you, you know? And that is awesome. So, was there anything that you would want people to know? Like, if someone's watching this and they're like, I don't know, da da da, like, what do you want people to know or take away?
I would say, well, if anyone's, kind of going through the idea of, I don't know if I should go see a doctor or, try medication, or if they have a worry about what the medication is going to do, it's definitely worth at least going to the doctor, seeing if you, first off, if you need to be put on medication. If you do, just talk with your doctor about the options, and at least give it a shot. I mean, my doctor was pretty open about saying, if I didn't really feel like it was working, or I had any other concerns, that, because I'm back here in a few weeks, she won't see me after the 1 month period. She said, it's something I don't have to do. It's not like I'm just stuck with taking the medication. If that's the case, if I didn't feel comfortable with it or anything like that, it's not it's not like, well, you're signed up to take it, you got to take it now.
You're not married to it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I would say, it'd probably be pretty scary to take that step. I don't know if everybody would feel that way, but it could seem that way, but it's definitely worth taking that step.
Yeah. That's so awesome. And I love that because I never thought about that before. Like, people being afraid to start because they think they can never come off of it. I'd never thought about that before. That's a great point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's next? Like, what? I feel like that's such a vague question. Answer that however you want.
Yeah, so, I don't know, like I said, I'm just going to see how the medication affects me over time. It's just been a couple of weeks, so I'm going to see when I go back to the doctor here in a month, talk with her about how I've been feeling on the medication. I'm sure she's going to want to see me again at some other point. Yeah, I think she mentioned that at the first appointment.
Mm-hmm.
So just kind of give it time, see how it affects me. And yeah, just I don't know, like, and this is something I didn't talk to you about the other day, but it's like I feel like I may also have like ADD, ADHD. So I think my next step, since I've kind of conquered that fear of medication in general, or like neuromedication, I think my next step is maybe when I go to the doctor here in a few weeks or the next appointment, kind of bringing that up as well, and just see if if I do have it, if I can take any medication to help with that. I'm very scatterbrained. I'm just all over the place. I'm very forgetful, so it's like I know something's there, but I guess that next step's just kind of taking care of that, I guess.
Yeah. That's awesome. It's like one door's been open and it's going well, so now you're like, I don't have to deal with XYZ in the rest of my life. I can do something about it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's so empowering too. It's like, wow, I'm not just like life's bitch.
Yeah. That's exactly it.
To put it crudely, you're not life's bitch, you're not anxiety's bitch, and it's like you decided to step up and do something a lot of people aren't sure about. So I feel like for a lot of people who aren't quite sure or have misconceptions, it's like, hey, it's okay to have those misconceptions. It's okay to have questions and be unsure, because I guarantee somebody else has had it, and now here's living proof of someone who's had it, been through it, conquered it, and is doing well. And that's not everybody's story, but I'm glad that it's yours. Like, that makes me so happy. I'm so happy for you. I'm just giddy. And again, I'm not like, everybody should take drugs, but I'm also not like, nobody take drugs. I want people to live their best life, whatever that means. And it sounds like for you, you're headed the right direction.
Yeah.
And that makes me so...
Definitely feels that way.
Yay! You look happier and calmer, and I don't know for you, but like, my anxiety also makes me scatterbrained sometimes, and I feel like with my anxiety, when I go through a period when my anxiety is calmer, it's easier for me to be focused. So I don't know if that's the case for you, but it's like anxiety drives you to the edge of your rope and you're so tired and stressed and just like at wit's end. It's impossible to stay focused. So I wonder if that will improve as this weight continues to come off. So
yeah, and that's one of the things I'm thinking about is, I'm just wanting to kind of see if any of these other issues I've had, if it improves over time with the medication. If it doesn't, then, I'm not worried about going back to the doctor and, and checking about anything else. So.
Yeah, you know what to do now. And so you weren't taking any medications before, right?
No, other than like just normal.
Allergy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it hard to incorporate that like into your daily routine?
I thought it was going to be, because a lot of times when I take medications, it's just really hard for me. First off, hard for me to remember to take them. Sometimes I just, I'm just not really in the mood for medication. I guess it's like, in a weird sense, it's like I'm just not in the mood to take the time, even if it's just going to be 5 seconds to take the medication. But a lot of times it's just remembering to actually take it when I'm supposed to. But yeah, with this, I guess I've had a different mindset with it. Just knowing, especially after taking it for a few days and knowing the improvements I've had, it's kind of ingrained in my head now. That's like, if I don't take this, I know what it's like to be without it. So it's really been a good incentive to remember to take it when I'm supposed to.
So do you have something that like reminds you, or?
No, I just leave it out on the table where I'm, where I'll see it pretty easily. Just in case if I forget, especially in the mornings, I'm just worn out. I'm still kind of half awake when I'm driving to work. So, it's really mainly for the morning, just trying to remember.
Yeah.
But I haven't really had any issues with remembering or anything. So it's,
yay.
It's definitely become a routine at this point. Feels like.
Good. It sounds like you're super motivated too, so it makes it easy to incorporate in your schedule. Like, I can be such an airhead that I've had a reminder in my phone for medication at 9 a.m. that has gone off. It doesn't like ring, but it's just a little notification. I've had it since I was like 20 years old. For 6 years. So I'm amazed that you were able to just remember and incorporate, because 6 years later, I'm still like, huh?
Honestly, it amazes me too. So, at this point.
Kudos to you. I'm curious what... Oops. I want to see... Oh, yikes. Wow. I meant to like break this screen in half so I could look at the chat from the stream, and now the screen is just a mess. Thomas said a lot of nice things. You're still the same kick-ass friend, life is your bitch, and you're a southern gentleman with a heart of gold.
Well,
all true. All true. I'll fight you. It's all true. Do you have any last, like, thoughts? Any last anything?
Not really. I'm glad that I could kind of answer all the questions that you had for the stream. Kind of be on here and kind of give that experience that I've had. So, I'm not sure if it would help anybody else. If anyone else is kind of worried or going through the same for a similar situation. But yeah, just glad to talk about it and answer some questions.
Yeah, I'm proud of you. I think it's a huge step, and it takes a lot of courage. So I'm super grateful. And I actually have one more question that we did not prep for, so I'm bombarding you with it. So we play iPhone games. Why the fuck are you bullying me on filler, and where are your battleships, goddammit?
Okay. I'm bullying you on that because you beat me at every single round of the battleship game that we played. So I figured it's a fair trade.
Battleship queen.
It's like, I don't know how. The last game that we played, you had like 3 ships to hit, and you hit all 3 of them in one round.
I did. That was amazing. I don't know. But then your last ship, I couldn't find it, and I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, he's gonna find my last ship, because you were catching up quickly, and then I think like right before you found my last like 2 or 3, I was like, nah.
Yep.
So, okay, you can bully me on filler. That's fine. I'll keep sinking your battleships.
It's a fair trade.
That was my last question was, I literally wrote, where the fuck are your battleships? And why the fuck are you bullying me on filler? I wish I had like an audience clap track. I don't, so I'll just do it for you. Oh man. Tom says, love you both. We love you, Tom. Well, I don't really have any concluding thoughts. Just, I'm proud of you. I'm glad you're my friend, and I think you're a badass who's making life their bitch.
Definitely trying.
Hey, that's more than most people can say.
Yeah, just taking it one day at a time, seeing how it works. So
that's all we can do. Yay!
Yep.
Well, I don't have I don't have a fancy outro. I think me saying I don't have a fancy outro is just my outro forever now. I don't have a fancy conclusion. Just thank you to Caleb for being here. And next week, 6 o'clock, hopefully we'll be doing a similar interview, but with someone in Canada, and we'll be hearing the Canadian version. This has been a tough pill to swallow, US version. So proud of that title. I'm so proud of it. Pretty sure I came up with it on the toilet, which is even better.
It's where the best ideas come from.
100%. 110%. Okay. Well, I'm excited for you. I'm excited to see where it goes, and I'm excited to keep beating you in Battleship, particularly that last one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's it for this week. Thanks for tuning in. Hit the follow button, bitches, or Caleb's gonna fight you, and I'm gonna help him. And yeah, fancy outro. Now I just have to hit end. So I guess we'll hang up here and then I'll end the stream, I think. We didn't figure out how to end this. It's okay, well, whatever.
Yeah, just wing it.
Yeah, and that's what I do best, so. Woo! Well, thanks again, Caleb. I will
no problem.
play you back as soon as you play me on our iPhone games.
Yeah, I need to remember to do that.
How dare you?
Yeah.
Okay, I love you, friend.
Love you.
Okay, good night, or bye, or whatever.
Catch you later.
Okay. Alright, so that was Caleb. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, lordy lord. Now I need to end this. Okay, bye.